Alright guys, so what's up? Welcome to my video. I'm going to be showing off my autoloader in this video. So we'll first start over here with the base. I've got a $20 table off Amazon, 35-pound weight plate. I put my phone on this little tripod over here that I've got. I just got a little stool underneath. And then here is my loading setup. I've got this bolt, made sure it's exactly 3 centimeters from here to here. Measured out my lines. So I have the 10 centimeter line, which is for bonus, the 15 centimeter line, and I have the 8 centimeter line. So that's cool. And I've bolted this this little loading setup down to this table. So these bolts, this, and this, those were bolted down to the table. And then I got some triangle brackets, these black ones, and I bolted some pieces of plywood to them. You can see these bolts on this side. Boom, boom. And so I've made sure to use washers on all of them. I prefer wing nuts because they're just easier to work with. But yeah. One quick thing to note is that when you're making this little board right here, do not use this type of plywood. This type of plywood is actually very weak. I use it for this base because it'll work for that. But when you're using plywood for making this board, get some plywood that's like this. This is, I think, a 3/4 of an inch thick, and so it works really well. Because if you use this type of plywood, this bolt, when you're loading, it'll sag, but this one, as you can see, it's perfectly perpendicular. So that's that entire setup. Then coming over here, I have my 5-gallon bucket, or my 5-gallon jug kind of thing, and I've built this entire apparatus. I'll put the files for this top part, this base, and this bottom part on Thingiverse. I'll also upload these parts, this, and I already have this uploaded. So all of those will be uploaded to Thingiverse eventually. If you're wondering, this long post is 50 inches tall, and this is about 18 centimeters length from this side to this side. I'll post that step file or STL file or whatever I can do on Thingiverse as well, just so you guys can see how I've done it. When I connected the 5-gallon jug to the PVC pipe, I got one of these black connectors, and I just tightened it all the way up on the top, and it's worked really well. And then I've just been using 2-inch PVC pipe. I have some in here to connect this to this, and then I have this pipe, which is attached to my end loading pipe, and this elbow. And then coming around the back. So then, as you'll notice, I have the base. These are 2x6s. This is just random scrap wood that I had laying around to reinforce the structure. But that's what I use for my base. For this lever, I've basically just screwed in a piece of plywood that I had. Not plywood, 2x4 that I had. This 2x4 was stripped down, that's why it's not to dimension. But I just put that on here, and then I added these little braces so that it doesn't move at all, stays very sturdy. Coming around, you'll see I have my 1/2-inch rod going through the pipe. It's also going through this side. It's free to rotate. I have my 3D printed part that's going up to the lever. It's a little bit crooked right now, but as you can see, it's really nice. Then let's talk about the spring. So the spring, I'll post a link to that in the description, but it's just like a regular 6-inch spring. And so I drilled a 1/2-inch hole into this post right here that was about this deep, and so I just shoved this 1/2-inch rod down there, and I just kind of clipped this onto the rod. So you can see This is free to move around. So I just slid it onto the rod. It's not going anywhere. Same thing with this one. I had glued on this ball onto the rod, so of course I wouldn't have been able to slip it on. But this is like kind of like an eye hook, so you can just unbend it and then rebend it. So if I can get a good angle, you can see that it was bent. Then Autoloader, like actually working. You can see I'll pull it. Alright, I'll pull it all the way back. I'll let it go, it'll close. And so that's the main thing about the Autoloader. The reason why it's spring loaded is that you can just let it go and it closes. Because when a Balsa loaded structure device breaks, you tend to flinch and you'll let go of this. And so the hope is that when you let go of this, it closes off. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've got. I've got this sand over here. It is really, really bad. It creates a lot of dust. So I've switched to the black sand that Balsa Engineering has recommended, which is going to be down in the description as well. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask down in the comments below. But otherwise, yeah, happy building. Hope you guys are doing good.